Hi, everyone. Holly and Maya here from Story and Printing. I'm here with my fabulous co-founder, Anne-Marie Hoftailing. Hello, Anne-Marie.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Love the earrings. Looking fabulous.
Thanks.
Yes. Here on Story and Printing, we have tons of great content about professional development, leadership, and storytelling, and everything in between relating to business. We want you to be a subscriber so you can get alerted when every time we post one of these videos. And if you like what you are listening to, we want you to give us a like, give us a comment, let us know what kinds of content you want on this channel, because we listen to that and it helps dictate the kind of topics that we talk about. Today, I kind of want to talk about the fact that, a year ago, we were launching this business and
we sure were.
We were going to have a big party.
Remember when we were looking at venues? Because you have parties in spaces and gather with lots of individuals.
Correct. There was going to be booze, like people would be able to share wine, and maybe even they get their cups mixed up. I mean, who can tell?
Things could have happened. Things could have gone crazy.
Things could have gotten crazy. And, obviously we've made this joke before, but it's like not the year that anybody ordered, right? I mean, in March, everything shut down and we had to radically pivot our model. We could no longer give in-person training. We were no longer traveling. There were no airplanes. We had to radically reimagine our business. And so grateful to be in the trenches with someone like you. You're such a wonderful business partner. I couldn't ask for a better one. And as we've sort of taken stock of the last year, a realization has occurred to both of us, I think, and I've written about this, and Anne-Marie and I have talked extensively about it, and that is, I think if we had known that this is what 2020 was going to look like, if we had the benefit of that foresight, I don't know that I would have taken the brave leap, frankly. I think I was in a pretty safe position before we launched our business, and you certainly had a thriving stable of clients who knew you as, as a freestanding brand. And so, at the end of December, we were ready to do this. And so we launched everything in January, and we had some great momentum. We continue to have great momentum, but we were building that momentum. And then, everything changed. And I think that, I want to talk to you about this today because obviously, like, I'm so glad that everything ended up the way that it did. I think it's made us a stronger partnership. Mm-hmm. I think it's stretched us in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I think it's forced us to really think outside the box and repackage and repurpose a lot of the work that we do to serve our client shifting needs. But, what do you think? Like, I mean, if you had known that in March, a pandemic was going to basically threaten the underpinning of our economy, of how we engage with one another, what would you have done?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a higher tolerance for risk than you do. I may have done it, but I may not have. I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's a sure thing. Yeah. But I think this gets back to this belief system thing that we're always talking about, as if there's this perfect time, there's this perfect environment, there's this perfect situation, you're going to have all the money in the bank, and there's, everything's going right in the world that you launch or make a career move or make a big ask. And the truth of the matter is there's never a great time. Right. It's not really about the sort of environment you're in. It's about you and whether you're flexible, adaptable, your attitude. We talked about this in a previous video, and it's really true. At one point, we were sort of like, whew, like at first it didn't seem real. And then it was like, oh, like, how is this going to work? Yeah. But really, it was a short conversation. There was all this fear. And then it was like, oh, like, we're super scrappy and we're hustlers. Yeah. Like, maybe this will look radically different, but we're not going to starve. We'll make money somehow. Right. And that instantaneous decision, because it was a decision that we were just scrappy and we were hustlers and we could do it, changed the tone of everything. Yeah. And then we just started like doing our thing.
We're like, here's the Zoom account. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to repackage this. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to do monthly webinars. We're going to do, and people are like, I mean, everybody's doing webinars, and right. And this is something I want to say, because I think it's important. We're going to do monthly webinars and we're going to charge a small fee. Well, everybody's fatigued with that. Nobody will do that. And nobody's going to pay because nobody charges. Both untrue.
Correct.
Both untrue. Most of our new client business came from those webinars. It became a funnel for us. And I bring that up because I think that if you're in this place of constantly finding a reason why something's not going to work or why it's impossible, you are right. It is not going to work.
Right.
It is not.
Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Right.
Theoretically, Henry Ford said that. I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but we think it is. But I think it's important to really challenge yourself to think, hey, these are the circumstances. It's not, it can't work. It's how do I make this work?
That's right. And I think, as you and I have talked about, I mean, we talk a lot about professional development, but we are both always working on our own professional development, right? So I've had all of these opportunities to do just the kinds of things that we're encouraging our clients to do at the end of the year, which is to take stock. And I think, man, I'm proud that I have been able to disrupt and dismantle a lot of these very long-standing beliefs that I've had around what it means to be, what the path to success looks like, right? And I think, for those of us who've been lawyers, gone to law school, you're sort of conditioned in law school to think it's okay, you go to law school, you rack up a bunch of debt, but then you go to a big law firm, you make a bunch of money, you work really hard, and that's the path, right? And imagining a different path, I remember back when I left law, I was like, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it, right? And I took so long to make decisions because I was afraid. I didn't trust myself. And I think your point is huge. We just made a decision. We were like, okay, these are things that we can't control. Here's what we can do. Here's what we know how to do together. And we had, I think, a point that I really want to drive home is that I had tremendous support in you. And I think that's hugely important for those of you that are, in a partnership or out there building a company. You want to be yoked to people that share your value systems and will push you and will support you, and I thought, well, this year looked the same as last year. Probably not in so many ways, but I am so confident in the direction that we're going.
Oh, I mean, we're both and talk endlessly about this, and apologize to all of you for boring you so much about this, but we both feel profoundly fortunate to be partnered together. And the thing I will say about that is, the thing we haven't mentioned is there was a lot of personal struggle this year. My mother died, my mother died in my home, where I was working, where I was living, where I was trying to get through. And, Holly was homeschooling kids. I mean, these were extraordinarily difficult personal times, is in addition to the business aspect. And I think that not to sound so Pollyanna-ish, but we just came to this work with so much conviction and joy and certainty of what we would and wouldn't do, and so much clarity about our value system, which was shared and aligned. And what that allowed for is, this is probably one of the worst years we're ever going to have. I mean, I hope so. I could be wrong. And there is some value in that our business was birthed in that year. Now, what's going to happen to us? I mean, sure, hard stuff is going to happen, but it's not going to define us, because we already know how we will manage in a difficult situation, because we've already done it. And super added to that, we were building a brand new business. We're never going to be doing that again. We're already in it. So now it's just a question of navigating the world. So I would just say, for you, where you're sitting right now in this moment, if you're unhappy or you want to make a move, or you want to move up or out or on, stop telling yourself all the reasons you can't do it, and start asking yourself, how can you do it? And why is this not a great time to do it?
Exactly. I love it. Boom. I have nothing to add to that.
I have one more thing to add. We're doing a one-year program called Verdant. And we will be launching that in January 2021. And the very first month is addressing all this cognitive behavioral stuff that's holding you back, that's making you think you don't have a right to ask, that's making you think that, you know, you have to spend 10 more years in this work before you can make a move, that's making you think you don't have the resources, the skills, whatever it is that you think you can't do. It's going to challenge you to reimagine a different future for yourself. And at the end of that, you will meet a version of yourself you have yet to know.
And it is going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And registration closes on December 31st. Yes. So there's no, like, if you, we don't want you to miss it. We want you there with us.
Do pitter patter, get at her.
Pitter patter, get at her. It's on our website.
Give yourself an end of the year Prezi. You deserve it.
You deserve to take care of you.
Okay? You deserve it, girl or boy or person or anyone. All of you deserve it.
Please subscribe to our channel, and also please be sure to check out Anne Marie's Hat Chats, where she wears fabulous headwear, way more fabulous than this, with all kinds of crazy stuff on it, and talks about really fabulous professional development and life lessons. So I encourage you to also check out, that's just a separate playlist here in the channel, and let us know what kind of content you are hungry for, what you like and what you don't like, because that dictates what we do. And we're listening, we read those comments and we are listening to what y'all want. So take care, everyone.
Bye.
Happy 2021, almost there.